mateys. My name is Captain Kidd. Yes, a pirate by trade, but I don't sail the high seas looking for treasure, for I find the treasure in the Word of God. Yes, there's adventure enough in God's good Word to thrill me. Hey, would you like for me to tell you about one of those adventures now? Oh, come with me. Paul, yes, he loved the Lord, but he got himself into a mighty lot of trouble. Arrested he was and shackled, but they couldn't punish him. No, because Paul was a Roman citizen. And if you were a Roman citizen, you had the right to be taken all the way to Rome for your trial. So, off to Rome he went, but it was a far piece across the mighty sea. Chained to a guard, Paul boarded the ship, and he waved goodbye to all of his friends on the shore, knowing well that it may be a long time before he sees them again. But Paul was not the only prisoner aboard this ship. No, there were many. And it was a rough voyage. They were all very glad when they came to rest on an island called Fair Havens in the middle of the Mediterranean Sea. When they landed, the captain let them rest for 4 days, but then he gathered up new supplies and made preparations to sail on. Paul went to him, and he says, "Oh, I am warning you, we should not go. It's going to be a bad trip. Yes, it is. There will be much injury and damage to the ship. An angel of the Lord has told me so." And the captain, he said, "Ah, you do not know what you're talking about." And he sailed anyway. As soon as they left the port, the winds began to howl. The sky grew dark and the waves were mighty angry. And the captain remembered the advice of Paul. And he was afraid for his ship. He was afraid they'd all be drowned and go down to Davy Jones' locker. So he yelled, "All of the extra cargo, throw it overboard." He wailed, and Paul said to him, "I told you so." Then Paul called the men to him. And he says, "We will lose the ship, but we will not lose one man. No, because an angel of the Lord has told me so. So be of good cheer." But the storm didn't cease. The ship did not sink, though. And the crew, one of them, saw land off in the distance and yelled, "Land ho!" The anchor, it dropped over the side because they were afraid that the ship would go into the rocky shore. Some of the men, the crew, they got a plan and they said, "Let's escape now before this ship goes down." So they came up with this plan, but Paul overheard and he reported them to the captain. The captain cut the ropes, dropped the lifeboats into the ocean. And they couldn't escape. No, those scallywags could not get away. Then Paul gathered everyone around him and he said, "This is what you need to do. Give thanks and eat hearty, because tomorrow you're going to need just strength. It's going to be a long day." So all the passengers, the prisoners, the crew, they ate every piece of grub that was left on that ship. The next morning they lifted the anchor and the boat started falling apart. But the crew were afraid that the prisoners would escape. So they wanted to kill them, but the captain said no, because Paul was on board. So the captain yells, "Swim for your lives, mateys!" And those who could swim headed for shore. Those who couldn't swim grabbed a piece of the ship and floated all the way into shore. When they took a head count on the shore, not one person had been lost, just as the angel of God had told Paul. Yes, high adventures from the Word of God. Now that will shiver me timbers.